This week on UND Insider Weekly, volleyball continues to be on a hot streak as they start conference play at 4-0. And we'll talk about that, and we'll have head coach Ashley Hardee in the coach's corner to break down the start of this season, including their latest match against in-state rival NDSU. Sports information directors are the buffers between collegiate sports and the media. Today, UND has 4 SIDs to cover every sport, but there was one man before them who set the standard. And we'll go into the sights and sounds of this past Monday's volleyball matchup against UND and NDSU. All this week on UND Insider Weekly. Welcome everyone to UND Insider Weekly alongside Tom Miller and Brad Schlossman from the Grand Forks Herald and Paul Ralston from UND Athletics. I'm Tim Hennessy. Gentlemen, first up, the volleyball team played North Dakota State at the Betty on Monday night in front of a record crowd. I don't know if anybody's still researching that, whether that was a record in the state or not, but certainly at 2,688, a thrilling atmosphere, obviously, for a big game. Anytime these two teams get together, what was it like, Paul?
It was just tremendous. I would like to see this become the norm. Certainly it says a lot that the rivalry is still alive and well between the two schools and people in the communities. I just thought it was electric. I think the players from both squads reveled in it, enjoyed it. I think no matter if you're a player on the losing side or the winning side, it's obviously much nicer when you're on the winning side, but you enjoy playing in an atmosphere where it means something to people and there's that many people watching you.
You guys notice that in volleyball, that it doesn't make a difference whether it's a bad play or a good play, they're always smiling? Do they enjoy playing that game more so than everybody else in any other sport?
Could be. It might be. There is a lot of positivity going on, and I think when you have a crowd like that, it's easier for them to get even more excited about playing well. And last night I decided to stay home, didn't want to brave the crowd, watched it on TV. Miller, you came out here and covered it from who knows where.
Yeah, no, I was
standing room only.
I was standing room only. I was. There was quite the crowd. Comparing it to basketball games, it was right up there with anything we've seen in the Betty here. And that's got to be encouraging to Coach Ashley Hardee that fans are really willing to come out here and watch volleyball if he's putting a good product on the court, and he is right now.
What was with the swim team? Looking for dates?
You won't see a media run on the court like that anytime soon.
That'd be good. Ashley Hardee told me last week, he said, get there early. It may not last long, and he was very prophetic, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you could look at NDSU's record. They have played tough competition too. Their record isn't very good. It seems like the two programs are going in opposite directions right now. For how many years did NDSU dominate UND in volleyball? I mean, the record wasn't even close. It was something like 67-3 or 67-4 NDSU was, and in the D1 era now UND's 3-1. So I think he anticipated they had a young team, they were struggling, and UND's veteran squad could run them out of their building, and they did.
3 in a row?
3 in a row, and actually the last 2 straight set sweeps. So, North Dakota's definitely onto something here in the rivalry with North Dakota State, and credit that to Coach Ashley Hardee, but also credit it to his veteran players. It means an awful lot to a player like Ronnie Munkeby, who's a North Dakota native from Lisbon, and the other players within the program with the local ties. I think that rivalry means something special to them.
In the long run, 4-0 in the Big Sky Conference. Obviously, their target is to win the Big Sky Conference, to win the Big Sky playoffs, to get into the NCAA tournament. So in the long run, 4-0 and a fast start, and just the way they've done things to teams and eliminated them is just very impressive, isn't it, Tom?
Well, the two things that'll give you a great public perception or, generate interest in your program are beating the in-state rivals that everybody recognizes, as well as going to the NCAA tournament. That's got to be their ultimate goal, and that's got to be the next big one on their to-do list. And going 4-0 to start the conference and doing it in pretty convincing fashion is a good way to start that.
And I thought, Tom, from the standpoint of the way North Dakota played those 2 matches this past weekend at home against Weber State and also against Idaho State. Against Weber State, it was a very offensive affair, maybe a little bit not to Coach Hardee's liking because he's a little bit more defensive-sided coach, but then to turn up the defense, to crank it up against Idaho State, against a program that's kind of well thought of in the Big Sky circles. They cranked up the defense, and that really was what kind of put them over the top in getting that victory on Saturday night.
Brad, that's 4-0 in the Big Sky. Then the win at North Dakota State, but they're expected to win that, I guess. Can it still be a springboard the rest of the way here?
I think so. When you have that many fans, for fan support, you have that many fans out there last night. They see that it's an exciting sport. They see UND win, that they're a good team. I think maybe you'll get more fans out there. It keeps the momentum rolling. Had they lost last night, that maybe stops their momentum, you know. So I think it's definitely something that they can use to go forward. We've
talked about it. It's not a difficult sport to follow. That, I think, is the best thing for fans. It's pretty simple. Hit it over the net in 3 hits and you're good, right?
Well, you know, that makes it awesome, and you know, it allows, you know, intermittent explosions of excitement through the arena, which makes the Betty a lot of fun to be in.
And I've watched some bad volleyball in their time, and when you watch bad volleyball, it's not that exciting. And then all of a sudden you come out here and watch these guys play, and it's a totally different game. It's when it's fast-paced and they're hitting the ball as hard as they do, and they're as athletic as they are and making some of the digs. It's an exciting sport to watch.
It's a little different than Saturday afternoon in front of the frat in Columbia.
It's
over at Grimlock in the sand, right?
It's a little different than Matt Schill's Wednesday night volleyball team. You know,
he would dominate though. At his size, I would guess he would dominate. Let's talk some football. North Dakota finally gets on the road, and that might be the best thing for this football team. Most coaches will tell you that in any sport, they like getting on the road, the bonding and all that. And I think it's something that makes sense to me. They've had a couple of thrashings at home. Good thing to get on the road, I would guess, don't you think?
Yeah, it's an opportunity to turn the next page, put the past in the past, and right now they have a lot they need to put in the past. So Idaho State presents a challenge to pick up a Big Sky win over a program you should beat, and it'll be very interesting to see which UND team we see and how they stack up against a team that was predicted to finish towards the bottom of the Big Sky.
And better than going on the road, I think, is that they're playing Idaho State, and this is a team that has 3 Big Sky wins in their last 41 Big Sky games. They haven't won a Big Sky game in they've lost 16 straight. So, you know, this is finally a team that's not ranked in the top 10, so I think that's a relief, and you know, we'll see what they can do. They have to win this game.
Yeah, and I don't know how real the concern is as far as confidence is, you know, but any student athlete is susceptible to having a dip in confidence after, you know, a couple of tough outings, and you hope that they can find that this week in practice and then, you know, take it on the road to Pocatello and find a way to dig out a win and start building some confidence back up.
Patience, right? I really, even in the 2 redshirt freshman quarterbacks we've seen, they've taken their, but they're playing some pretty good competition, so maybe this will be a chance for them to grow in confidence a little bit as well. The UND women's hockey team was in action on Friday night against the Pursuit of Excellence team, an academy out of British Columbia, and they throttled them pretty good, as they should have throttled them. Good thing to play that game, Brad?
Well, you know, it's partly a recruiting game. You know, they have a bunch of young players, very talented young players who will eventually be D1 players. So I think that's part of it. And then they just, I guess you get your first look at game action and what you have on your team, and see if your team is what you thought they were in, you know, preseason workouts and everything like that.
Lamoureux lists.
Yeah, you know, that's for fans and everything. It's the first chance to see what they look like without the Lamoureux twins, and I don't think they're going to score as much. I don't think that's a huge bold prediction. You know, that, you know, you lose the top 2 WCHA scorers in history, that their scoring might go down. It's not really a profound statement, but defensively, I think they'll be really good. And Haley Krzyzaniak, the touted freshman, was really good on Friday night, and you know, she might be their best defenseman already, and by the time she's done, she could be the best they've ever had.
Still to come, we'll go into the sights and sounds from Monday's matchup against North Dakota State, and Coach Hardee will talk about volleyball's start to this season.
Preparation starts early. You're setting up cameras, scouting the area, sitting in a tree stand. No unnecessary movements. Blend into your surroundings. The animal pops out and you're ready to go. The atmosphere at the archery shop is awesome. It's a place to get info on how to become a better bow hunter. I'm Eric Shack. I'm an archery expert at Shields.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king. Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
UND basketball season is almost here, featuring great matchups at the Betty. Purchase a big game plan and secure your seats on the most anticipated games. Get 4 big games for North Dakota men's basketball, including the NDSU game, for only $40. North Dakota women's basketball big game plan, including the game with NDSU, only $30 for 4 great matchups. Lock in your tickets today and get your big game plans online at UNDsports.com or purchase in person at the Ralph Engelstead Arena.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields, Gear, Passion Sports, by Burger King, where taste is king, and by The Ground Round.
This year, 4 major sports will take on in-state rival North Dakota State. So far, soccer took them down 4-2 earlier this year, and on Monday, volleyball got their chance at the Bison.
The state rivalry being played before our eyes tonight in Grand Forks at the Betty between North Dakota and North Dakota State.
Do our normal routine as we go along, okay? And then when 7 o'clock comes, okay, I'll turn you guys loose, okay? And we're gonna unleash, a fury that these guys can't keep up with. Right, there's people all over the state that care about this game. It's big, all over the region, UND fans all over the country, okay? And I love this kind of stuff. I love this match, right? And we're gonna play it, and we're gonna play it, and we're gonna win it for all those guys, okay? But tonight is your night, okay? Other people played in this match before you, and they're gonna care deeply about you guys, so tonight will be your night. It'll be your night to be great, okay? And to put your name down in history books as us beating these guys, all right? So I'm gonna stand there, I'm gonna stand right behind you, okay? I'm gonna cheer louder than anybody else in that gym does for us to be great tonight, and I wanna get after these guys, okay?
Time by Clark. There is Robinson left side. Off the set from Husfeld. She'll find the floor with that one. Husfeld will swing it. Back row attack. Piaski in for a point. Dug out by Clark. Here's Husfeld, middle attack. Monkeby again!
We did a better job if we talked in game 2 about, trusting yourselves and making the right move, right? Okay, and then communicating the best we can and playing good defense, right? And we played great defense in the second game there, okay? I liked it a lot.
Left side for Robinson. That one left a vapor trail. North Dakota clicking right now at a level that NDSU has no answer for. Go to left side Robinson. Oh my. Robinson just absolutely pulverizes that one. Anna Piaski, the freshman, back serving. And it's a good one. Doug Claxton, middle set, middle attack. Blocked at the middle of that for point number 25. North Dakota wins this match in straight sets. 25-15.
The atmosphere, it's one thing to walk out in conference game, but to walk out in a rivalry game like this is, you're sweating, your heart's pumping. It's just something that you can't explain how amazing it feels, and the support that we had tonight was just unreal. So I'd like to say thanks to the community, fans, everybody that came out to support us tonight.
Nice win for UND over the Bison, and the volleyball team also went 4-0 in conference play, taking down Idaho State Saturday. Coach Ashley Hardee's here to talk about how the team has done so far in 2013. It's pretty self-explanatory. 8 of your last 9, a win over the Bison, 4 straight in the Big Sky. Life is good for you, Coach.
We've been off to a good start here, conference play, and getting the rivalry win last night against NDSU was always great. You know, that's for sure one we got circled on the calendar each year, and so things have been going well this last couple of weeks.
I thought it was spot on your comment last night with Ronnie Munkeby. You know, she's the 2-time back-to-back Player of the Week in the Big Sky Conference, and you said sometimes she's playing at such a high level, sometimes you catch yourself just sitting back and watching her go to work, and it's quite a performance and quite something to watch right now.
Yeah, it really has been, and just in a way, even as a coach and stuff, but just trying to take it all in because we only have, we're starting to get to a point where I think we only have 8 more home games, and somewhere approaching the midpoint of the season, and she's a senior, and this is her last go around in it, and watching what she's doing right now is pretty spectacular. So it's kind of fun to take it in.
What I thought was impressive was, I think you came into this, and you said it might be a short match, that you'd be a favorite in this one, but it didn't. I mean, their performance seemed to be jacked up even more. You could have had a little letdown on that one, just kind of expecting to win, don't you think?
Yeah, we were a little nervous, I think, early in the very first set, and just a couple of hesitation moves that, I saw we'd step like we were going in the right direction, then we'd kind of stutter step, and we got through that midway through the first game, and things really got rolling and stuff, and you get in these rivalry games and you don't know exactly how the other team is going to really respond to it. And when we pushed and got away from them in the middle of the first game and came back out in the second game and up I think 6 or 7 to 1 to start the second game was it was a big difference there. And sometimes those things can get out of hand and in pretty quick.
Are you more pleased with your team from handling maybe a Saturday night game against Idaho State? Because when you have a rivalry game sitting on a Monday, some teams may have a letdown because they're overlooking what's in front of them, and you have a veteran team where they didn't let that happen. They had a great performance on Saturday against Idaho State. It shows that they're in the moment, basically, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It could have been a letdown, I think, on Saturday if it maybe it was a weaker opponent other than Idaho State. Idaho State beat us twice last year. They were finished second in the conference last year, picked second this year. So we know we had a big match on Saturday night. So we weren't really able to look forward ahead too much to NDSU. And now on the other side of it, we got to make sure there's no hangover effect to it, and that the match was great, and winning the rivalry matches is what we all are looking forward to doing each season, and the crowd responds to it and stuff. But we got to move on now. We got to go to Sacramento State and Northern Colorado and keep getting some wins.
We said we were going to ask you this. There was one point, I don't remember which set it was in, but you had a lead. They scored 4 or 5 points in a row and called a timeout. What do you say in a timeout like that? You didn't come unglued or anything.
No, we just want to make sure we kept our focus, and it happened a couple of times where we get to. We talk in practice and in the locker room and make sure we're preparing ourselves to get 3 quality swings wins a rally, not 1. And there was a run, a couple of stretches there where we were taking 1 swing and winning rallies. And then when they started to fight back a little bit, we'd take the swing and wouldn't really organize ourselves quickly and kind of stand and watch. And that as a coach, you surely don't like that. So we got a timeout and made sure we refocused ourselves and got back into, okay, the swing we're going to take maybe necessarily won't end the rally. We got to prepare ourselves for them to get it back to us.
Coach, great win, and keep her rolling at Sacramento State, Northern Colorado in the Big Sky. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, guys.
Coach Ashley Hardee, UND Volleyball. Coming up, Lee Bonet was UND's very first sports information director. This past weekend, the Alaris Center press box was dedicated to the man who spent many years in press boxes himself. Next on UND Insider Weekly.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Preparation starts early. You're setting up cameras, scouting the area, sitting in a tree stand. No unnecessary movements. Blend into your surroundings. The animal pops out and you're ready to go. The atmosphere at the archery shop is awesome. It's a place to get info on how to become a better bow hunter. I'm Eric Schack. I'm an archery expert at Shields.
North Dakota hockey takes the ice against Manitoba Sunday night, October 6th.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
The 3rd season of the highly acclaimed series Through These Doors returns with all new half-hour episodes. The season premieres on October 10th at 9 p.m. on UNDSports.com and Friday, October 11th at 6:30 on Midco Sports Network. From 1953 until 1988, Lee Bonet was employed by the University of North Dakota as their first ever sports information director. Today, they're called the Director of Media Relations, but their jobs are almost identical. On Saturday, the Alaris Center press box was dedicated to the man who set the standard for those who followed him.
You know, the business is a people-to-people business, and Lee was a people person.
Oh, today was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous, and it was so much fun to hear all the stories that people have and their memories of Dad. It was great to have our whole family here and friends, and it was just wonderful. Dad would have been very pleased.
I just shake my head when I think of all that he did for so long, and this is a business that will drive anyone crazy. And you look at today at UND, for instance, you've got 4 full-time sports information people, and Lee was really a pioneer. To do it as long as he did, he was very dedicated, and obviously his legacy goes on if we're putting his name on the press box wall. He left that big of an imprint.
He was a gregarious person, and I think if we would have really gotten into the stories just in the press box, we'd still be going until kickoff, if not beyond, because we had a great time, great chemistry, great camaraderie in the press box. Regardless of what you did, we were a band of brothers, and Lee pretty much made it that way. He wanted everybody to do their job, but he also wanted them to feel comfortable. And he treated you like you were his own.
I mean, you could see there were people here from all walks of life that were involved with Lee, and from the radio side, the television side, the newspaper side. There were just a lot of people that Lee touched, and that's a lasting legacy. If you can leave those good feelings that people have about you, I think that's a great tribute to Lee.
Hockey is back in full swing, or set to go that way anyway. The panel will talk about both the men's and women's matchups this weekend next on UND Insider Weekly.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields, Gear, Passion Sports, by Burger King, where taste is king, and by The Ground Round.
UND basketball season is almost here, featuring great matchups at the Betty. Purchase a big game plan and secure your seats on the most anticipated games. Get 4 big games for North Dakota men's basketball, including the NDSU game, for only $40. North Dakota women's basketball big game plan, including the game with NDSU, only $30 for 4 great matchups. Lock in your tickets today and get your big game plans online at UNDsports.com or purchase in person at the Ralph Engelstad Arena.
For 25 years, the Big Sky Conference has been showcasing women's athletics. 25 years of authenticity, hard work, community, and 25 years of playing to win.
For the first time since 2007, is going.
But remembering that our vision is bigger than winning. We're the Big Sky, the heart of Division I, the heart of the American West.
Welcome back to UND Insider Weekly. Friday and Saturday, women's hockey starts their regular season. They'll play host to Lindenwood Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock. And guys, let's talk about that one for a little bit. The start of the regular season, the exhibition win behind them already. What are we looking for in this one?
I think they want to see.
We go right to Brad because
I just jump in. I think they want to see some the offense. See if they can spread the scoring out like they did against the Pursuit of Excellence.
10 different goal scorers in that one, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have 10 different goal scorers in this one. I think they would like it if they saw that. I'm going to say they win that one 7-0.
Well, let me ask you about Lindenwood just for a second, and the fact that they're a program that's trying to move onward and upward, and it shouldn't in hockey take that long, should it?
Well, you know, I think Brian Adolski found out that reviving this program wasn't really easy. But if you do get a couple of good players, and I know there's a recruit from right there in St. Louis who's probably one of the top recruits in the country that they're probably trying to get, and that can change things pretty quickly. We saw with the Twins, you get them in here, other top players want to come too, and I would assume they're hoping something like that happens there.
You can catch women's hockey with a live webcast on UNDsports.com as well. Then the men's hockey team will play on Sunday night against Manitoba in an exhibition game. Last year, I think UND jumped out 4-1 on them and saw Manitoba catch up and needed an insurance goal later in the game. This is always a good test for UND because it's an exhibition game, but it's also a game that they're going to be tested in.
Yeah, I think they want to see exactly what they have in certain spots and how players respond in game action. They got a lot of question marks this year. They want to see who's going to earn some of those top minutes, and Danny Christo and Corbin Knight aren't here anymore. Someone needs to fill those spots, and maybe some of the young guys will be able to do that. We'll find out on Sunday.
Who wins the women's hockey games, Tom?
UND sweeps Lindenwood there and picks up a 3-0 victory over Manitoba.
Paul?
I like a sweep for the UND women over Lindenwood, 6-0 and 5-1. And I think a win over Manitoba, but it's going to be a little tighter. I think it's probably going to be like a 4-1 game.
Took my 4-1 score in that game and a sweep for the women as well. Brad, you got a prediction on that?
I'm going 7-0 first night for the women. I'll say a closer 3-0 the second night. 2 shutouts. Men win 5-2. And the hockey team sweeps.
Shutouts?
Yeah.
Nice.
I like them defensively.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. Good show as always. You can watch the men's game, by the way, on UNDsports.com as well as Midco Sports Network. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the UND Insider Weekly. Now, next Wednesday, you'll be able to see the program at 8 p.m. on UNDsports.com and Friday at 5:30 on Midco Sports